All right, we will go ahead and call the Becker City Council of May 21st to order. If you'll rise to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, has everyone had a chance to look over the meeting minutes from May 7th? If so, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second it.
Motion from Rick, second from Troy. Any discussion?
Yep, I got one, the item about the Mid-Continent Agreement, that one was 4-1. It was 5-0.
So on the meeting minutes, number 11, 4-1. Okay. All right. Anything else? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Any items in addition to this evening's agenda? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second it.
Motion from Rick, second from Troy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Guess and open forum. Anyone here for guess and open forum? Seeing nobody, we will go on to committee reports. Becker Chamber of Commerce State of the City was given on May 8th. It was warmly received. We had a great discussion in regards to what has happened in 2018 and currently up to 2019. So, budget and finance.
Budget and finance, we met last week. Financials were, this was through April, so it'd be roughly a third of the year there. So the expenses were all within in line yet. The discussions we were having we're kind of starting the budget process for 2020, which seems, you might think it'd be early, but it's not. So we were just kind of talking about what that's the calendar for what that's going to look like this year. Also, we had discussion on potentially changing our accounting software. We had this discussion a few years ago, and we held off on it a couple years ago, but starting to have some more software issues now related to our current software, and there's just some discussions this might be the time to change up. So that is not something you do pretty lightly. That's a project. So that's being looked at right now, I guess. Just as we talk about budget, that's definitely an item in the budget we would have to consider there. So.
We had fire board last night, and we basically just paid the bills, did the routine meeting issues, and then just made everyone aware that June will be our 2020 budgeting meeting. So, golf committee.
We met last night. Everything's looking really good out there. The membership dues as we stand right now for the 2019, we're already above. The green fees are way above. Food and beverage is doing outstanding. And we took a tour, went and looked at some couple places out there that we'd like to start trying to fix up with some poor turf areas. We had some sod, I don't know when it was, a couple years ago, from somewhere else that didn't sit real good, so we're just going to kind of try a couple different things. Jason is Tyler Stone, the food beverage manager, is starting June 10th will be his start date, so there'll probably be some changes out there as he moves into his position, and everything else is looking real good. That's all we had out there.
Do you want to go right into Park and Rec?
Sure. Park and Rec, we met last night too. They're going to move some of their money around, so it's not going to cost any extra if they get approval for the water slide. They want to fix the sauna at the same time, so the pool will all be shut down. The sauna's getting some wear and tear. I don't think that's ever been fixed or even maintained really since it's been put there. And then they want to put some new carpet in the common areas when you come in. They had the son-daughter dance, 190 couples attended that.
And it was the son-daughter?
Sorry. Son and mother dance. Was a great turnout. They said that it was from all around the areas. It wasn't just like how the father-daughter dance was here. Touch truck was great. Nobody should have to use the horns on any of the equipment for the next 10 years.
All tested, huh?
Yeah, it's all ready. Upcoming events, the Legion Memorial Day dinner, May 27th. Becker graduation party overnight on the 31st. And School of Fish on June 7th. It's where you bring your youngster in and they teach them some stuff about fishing and they get a tackle box and all that kind of stuff. And that's about it.
Right. LPI.
LPI, we met last Wednesday, yeah, it was a couple days ago, last week. Mainly information sharing. LPI, we meet quarterly now that the wastewater project is completed. So that's just quarterly. So it's just basically information sharing, mostly from the city standpoint, but with us sharing information about especially road projects, things that would affect folks at the plant there. So.
Any committees missed? I did fire board. Yeah.
We met last night.
I went right after you, budget and finance. We paid the bills, we did our routine business, and then we said that June is the 2020 budgeting month. Okay, all right. All right, so board, committee, and consultant reports. Becker Community Center water slide refurbishment. Josh.
Madam Mayor, members of council, in front of you this evening is a request to engage into an agreement with Fisher Brothers for refurbishment of the water slide at the Becker Community Center. As we've kind of gone along in the process with Parks and Rec Commission and executive session on the 7th, our staff has identified some pretty important repair work that needs to be done on the water slide, and as well as the columns of the large windows on the side of the building as well that are starting to corrode and deteriorate due to the conditions within that area. So both of those would be taken on. Just as history of the project, we engaged structural engineers to look at the water slide towers as well as the wind curtains, and our initial concerns were validated by them. We've kind of engaged a couple of different vendors that specialize in this work. They're hard to find, but we do have kind of one of the industry leaders that's taken and prepared a refurbishment bid to get all that work done that we feel is a really good course of action. Just for point of comparison, we did get what a new build like for like would be, and it's our staff's recommendation that in lieu of very high financial commitment at this time, that we take on the refurbishment, fix the repairs, get the surfaces back to an acceptable level, and then use the 10 to 15 years that it'll buy us to properly plan for whatever that next replacement would be, if it would be a water slide or perhaps something else in that area. So we've kind of held, the Fisher Brothers has kind of kept us in their thoughts as far as taking it on this year. It's not a dangerous situation for our guests, but it's something that will need to be addressed. So we would look to get this taken care of in August, right around the time where we do typically close for a week for pool maintenance. Wouldn't have a huge impact on our guests, but it would allow us to get that work done in a time that wouldn't be super impactful to the operation. So with that said, I'd love to answer any questions. I know we've had some conversations about it previously. Clear up anything that you might need, and then hopefully get permission to enter into an agreement with Fisher Brothers to repair and refurbish the water slide at BCC with a total project cost not to exceed $90,000.
I did forget to mention too, with the pool being shut down like that, I guess we have an agreement with the Monticello Community Center. So,
Josh, how does this affect the CIP for the BCC?
So we've not engaged or started any previously planned CIP projects for 2019, just as we were aware early in this year that we might have to reallocate some funds. So some of the major projects that we had planned for the CIP 2019 were an LED messaging sign replacement. That would get foregone in this year's plan. Another of the major improvements that Mr. Cox referenced was taking on flooring improvement projects within the building. It's our estimation that within our currently planned CIP, if we were to allocate the $83,000 as it's forecasted for the improvement of the water slide, we would still be able to take on and accomplish the flooring projects that we had planned on. But the sacrifices would be the messaging sign and then also the gym floor. Our staff is still up in the air as to whether we would feel comfortable taking on the gym floor at this time anyways, so we could certainly just reallocate the CIP and it wouldn't have any incremental cost to the operational budget.
So the 90,000, just to recap, is for the slide and for the windows?
Yep.
The wind thing. Does council have any other questions for Josh or staff? I would ask for a motion to enter into an agreement. Oh, no resolution, it's just just looking for, on your next page, a motion to enter into the agreement.
I will make a motion to enter an agreement with Fisher Brothers to repair and refurbish the water slide at the BCC with total project costs not to exceed $90,000.
second it.
All right, motion from Rick, second from Troy. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carried. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
2019 Street and Trail Project. Mr. Lisson.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Before you tonight, I have a resolution and a request for action on our 2019 Street and Trail Project. I've included in the packet tonight for you a map showing where the trail project would be and the street project. Utilizing our trail maintenance plan and our street improvement plan, which are still works in progress, but we're trying to use them as we go. Staff determined that trail section number 11, which is essentially the trail that runs along 3rd Street, you can see it up on the map up on the TVs, from Donnelly Street up to Brenda Boulevard, and Parkview Drive, including the cul-de-sacs, were the areas that were in greatest need of replacement. We followed that up with inspections and found that what we saw based on age on our maintenance plans were confirmed by our inspections, that these areas do require some work. And we also would propose at this time to fix some drainage issues that we see on that trail and also on Parkview Drive. This plan was proposed to the Public Works Committee. They reviewed the plan and they suggested at the time that we would split the Parkview Drive project in 2 parts, kind of minimize the cost for 2019. As a result, we worked with SEH and they split that into 2 parts for us. So this year we proposed that we would do Parkview Drive from Sherburne Avenue up to Forest Drive, which would also include Northway Circle, Park Manor Circle, Frontier Circle, and Julia Lane. And we do have money in the street CIP, $900,000, and $108,000 in the 2019 Parks and Trails CIP for this project. So tonight I'm asking for a motion and a second, authorizing staff to have SEH create plans and specifications for the 2019 street and trail project as presented. And I'll answer any questions, and I have backup if I can answer some questions too, so.
Right, this is what the Public Works we talked about last time, at our last meeting in regards to like having an alternate plan. The original plan, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, it was the whole park view.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do the whole street. We figure if you get it done at one time, then you're kind of addressing it at one time again in the future, but it's a pretty good chunk of street to take on at once. And we felt trying to balance, the trail project has some additional issues with the drainage that we want to address. So it seemed like a good idea to try to break Parkview up, maybe bring the cost of that down and invest a little more money into the trail along 3rd Street, since that is one in my time here that I've had several complaints regarding. It's in pretty poor shape, so it's due for some help. Mm-hmm.
The whole, not just that stretch, but that area there.
Yep.
We would have loved to have done Parkview all together, but it just financially, we couldn't do it out of the CIP. So,
Thank you for staying within the budget. It's always good.
Trying hard. It's not always easy with some of these things. It adds up pretty fast.
all right, so, do you want to go ahead?
I will make a motion then to authorize staff to have SEH create plans and specifications for the 2019 street and trail project as presented.
Second it.
Right, motion from Rick, second from Troy. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
You were for that, right? Oh, sorry. Remember I told you my hearing today was a little off. Sorry. Administrator and staff reports. Call for public hearing for certification of snow removal charges. Mr. Lisson.
Good evening again. So tonight I asking council to call for a public hearing for certification of snow removal charges. This winter, the city had to clear several sidewalks as part of our snow removal ordinance. Notices were sent out on January 15th and March 5th and March 8th to property owners respectively, notifying them of the work that was completed and giving them 30 days to pay the fee of $75 for the work that was performed. To date, there are 44 properties that have not paid for these services. If they're left unpaid, the charges will be assessed against their property for taxes payable in 2020. Prior to certifying these charges, the city must schedule a public hearing and notify the property owners of the date and time of the hearing. So action is requested from council to call for the public hearing to be held on June 4th, 2019, for the assessment of any unpaid snow removal charges. So a motion and second to call for that public hearing to be held on Tuesday, June 4th at approximately 5 p.m. Consider the assessment of those unpaid snow removal charges would be appreciated. That might have been a lot more than I needed, I don't know, but
I'd just like to point out there too, if we notice the dates, January 4th and 7th, and then March 5th and 6th, remember we have, who can forget, we had Snownami February where it was like every other day where it was snowing. Notice that's not on here, I guess. That's, city staff are not out there every day looking to do this. There was none during February. So just.
yeah, I would say it was definitely a delicate balance. I mean, you want to adhere to your ordinance to make sure people understand that we do enforce them, we want them, but this winter was definitely a very difficult winter for snow removal, and so we tried to walk that fine line, I guess.
Motion to call for a public hearing on June 4th at approximately 5 p.m. to consider assessment of unpaid snow removal charges.
I'll second it.
Motion from Rick, second from Troy. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Administrator and staff reports. Oh, sorry, consent agenda. My allergies have gotten I can barely.
Sharp as a bowling ball, I
Yep.
think we all are.
Sharp tonight, I tell you. Mr. Przezinski, will you please walk us through the consent agenda?
I will, Madam Mayor, City Council members. Please note we've got a revised consent agenda this evening with 9 items. Items 1 through 4 are hiring and termination report forms from our Becker PD, the Becker Community Center, our water, wastewater plant, and Pebble Creek Golf Club. Item number 5 is declaring surplus property and ordering its disposal. I believe that was a forfeiture vehicle. Item number 6 is 2019 CIP. Remember, we're in the process of building a citywide security system. That's phase 1 for the 2019 project. Item number 7 is change to job description, maintenance worker job description. Item number 8, industrial collection system, manhole refurb. This is something that we have been gearing up also out of our capital improvement program. And then item number 9, which is the addition, hiring and termination report form for the Becker Community Center. So I can certainly try to answer questions, otherwise a motion to adopt would be appreciated.
Consent agenda is presented.
Second it.
Motion from Rick, second from Troy. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carried. Payment of the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion from Rick, second from Troy. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Does council have anything else for the betterment of Becker? No? Then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion from Rick, second from Troy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We adjourned at 6:22.